Hi everyone, my name is Amber Kerrigan and this is Blake Carter. He is the CEO of Top Tier. So let's start this thing. Blake, what made you decide to open your own business?
Well, owning my own business has always been a dream of mine ever since I was younger. I don't think that I'm a good employee. I'm not employable. I need creative freedom. I need to be able to do things on my own, and I also am not able to be told what to do in a sense.
Okay.
You know, I love learning, so I'll listen when I need to learn. But in order for me to get to where I want to be in life, I believe that I have to be an entrepreneur.
Beautiful. Okay, I'll get that out. What or who was the inspiration for you to start your own business?
Growing up, I grew up in a middle class family, had everything I needed, didn't have everything I wanted. So on Christmas morning, I'd wake up and my friends down the street had all these toys, and I had socks and towels, and that, I believe, drove me to want more out of life.
Okay.
And so that was more of the monetary push, but then the inspiration of creating something on your own and building something in your mind and then seeing it create into or come to life was a huge push for me. And I'm on my way to where I want to be, but I'm definitely not there yet. I have a lot to do. I mean, I have an empire to build, so my vision is to own one of the biggest companies on the planet that has the power to change the world, or change the world where I see fit.
Where you want to be. And you're 23, so when did you start Top Tier?
I started it my sophomore year
Okay.
of college,
Okay.
and I just graduated in the spring.
All right.
So this is my first semester working full time. I mean, I've been working full time for the
Right,
past
but
3
full
years.
time, just Top Tier, not
Yeah,
school.
exactly.
Okay. So now we'll talk about your business plan a little bit. How much time, money, and planning did it take before deciding to start?
The business plan took about, I would say we met originally to conceive the idea in early November,
Okay.
and the three of us met. I've known Jesse since I was actually a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriend was best friends with his ex-girlfriend, so we kind of were forced to hang out.
Okay.
But we immediately, it was
You immediately clicked.
yeah, we had chemistry. And Taylor bartended with Jesse, so they came together. The three of us sat down to discuss Top Tier, what it was going to be, and probably a few months of planning, execution, building a logo, deciding, making deals, contracts,
Okay.
that the whole 9 yards. But there wasn't really that much startup capital. It was almost like our efforts were the capital. As hard as we were going to work, it was a make or break deal.
Okay.
It wasn't like it wasn't like a restaurant where you need X amount of money to keep you afloat for 6 months because you
Right.
need 6 months to market your restaurant. We
Right.
just needed to come out with a bang and go from there.
So how did you decide to even name it Top Tier? Is that something you guys all came up with, or is that just like something that you thought of on your own?
I like to take credit
You
for
like
the
to take
Top
credit.
Tier.
All right, I'll give you the credit for it. I think it's a
But,
good name, and I like the logo. As you can
It's-
see above.
It seemed a little bit. We were weary about it because we wanted to be a clean brand,
Okay.
and we are in the entertainment industry, so having a clean brand is almost. It was a lot harder than it is in other industries, but we still wanted to make an effort, and I believe that the name of a company can make or break you.
Absolutely.
You
Well, it's the first impression,
right.
and it builds what you think of what
Like
it
our
is.
entire, everything we decide off of goes off of top tier. You know, we are a top tier company,
Mhm.
so we don't half-ass anything. We refuse, even if we're gonna make money off something, we'll turn it down if we know it's a bad look on the brand. So everything we have to do, it has to be top tier.
I think that's a good way to go about things. Absolutely.
I agree.
So, I know, like, I'm familiar with the company, but do you guys have your own website, or is it strictly on social media, like Facebook and Instagram, or? do
We
you a
have
website?
a couple websites because, well, originally we had just a top tier website.
Okay.
And now we have the Big Banger Music Festival,
Mm-hmm.
which top tier owns.
Okay, okay.
So that's another website. And then the majority of our business is done on social media.
Right.
Facebook.
Facebook, so that's like
um,
promotion statuses, or would you?
everything, even just organizing. We don't email any of our employees. Everything is basically either through Facebook or text, just
Okay.
because we're millennials. We're
Sure.
young. I don't even like email, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they get cluttered and there's so many of them.
Right.
And like, since your employees are they're all college students, right?
Large majority.
Large majority. So they're already on social media anyways, so it's just like an easier way to do that. Absolutely. So let's see. How about something about human resources? What do you think is the most important quality in an employee when you're trying to hire somebody? Like, what are you mainly looking for?
There's two that I think rival each other, and it's honesty is one, because if I can't trust you, I can't hang out with you, you can't work for me, we can't be friends, we can't associate whatsoever at all. And if your work ethic, if you have no work ethic or you have poor work ethic, then this isn't the place for you, you know,
Yeah.
because we're a young company and we're going up against the superpowers of the industry,
Mhm.
and we have to be on top of it
Right.
all the time, and it's nonstop. You know, it's from the second my eyes open at night or in the morning to the second my eyes close at night, and sometimes even in my dreams, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, you know, and grab my phone and write something down. But that's what you have to do if you want to make it to the top, if you want to own your business, if you want to succeed. And it doesn't even have to be in your own business. You know, if you want to succeed in the corporate world, or you want to succeed in whatever your dreams or passions are, you have to have good work ethic.
Absolutely. Great answer. You're doing that well. Alright, so you talked about that's what you think about when you wake up and go to sleep, sometimes when you dream. So what kind of day-to-day things do you have to do? And now this is probably different than last year because you had to go to class last year, but do you just come to the office in the day, or?
Yeah, so day to day now, present time today is I wake up, I'll usually come straight to the office, unless I have a meeting in the morning, then I'll go there. But normally I'll come to the office, I'll check my emails, I'll check Facebook, I'll check my texts, which usually is a lot. And then, you know, probably make some phone calls, and then probably go to a meeting, come back, make some more phone calls, finish anything I have to do for the week, plan out the week. We'll usually go to the war room, which is the room next door. It's our conference room, and we sit in there as a group and kind of go over things that we need to do or get done that week. So, like right behind you is my kind of my list of things I had to do the other day, which was, you know, contracts, payroll, a new, you know, the Lil Wayne show that we're working on. I had to do some invoices, talk to my production company, and finish up some deals with Miami, which due to the hurricane is not working.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's, you know, we have different positions, the three of us. So I'm the CEO, Jesse's the CEO, Taylor's the CMO. Anything that has to do with marketing, Taylor takes care of. Anything that has to do with operations, Jesse mainly takes care of. Anything that has to do with business or business expansion, I take care of. So it's always changing. I'm always on the phone with, you know, the owners of the venues or the higher ups of, you know, like with the Lil Wayne show, we're working with Live Nation, which is the world's biggest entertainment concert
That's awesome.
company, literally the biggest in the world. So you know, I have to be very careful with what I do with them, but they're actually really cool people.
That's good.
So you kind of grow them up.
Yeah. Have you ever worked with a big company like that before? Or is that like,
We've worked with Red Bull,
okay.
and we've worked with a few big companies, but you know, that is literally the largest